And then this one...
yes, that's Marilyn Monroe, isn't it?
That's right.
Whenever Marilyn Monroe, Hollywood's most popular starlet, is mentioned, she is remembered by her reputation as a dumb blonde with a series of failed marriages. But she was beyond these, which are often overpowered. She was a talented comedian and a woman who fought against relentless abuse and exploitation. Her sayings give people hope and motivation. She was a civil rights activist who wanted to make it in show business and desperately wanted to be loved. In order to introduce you to her parts, which are less discussed and talked about, and what you can learn from her life, we have brought this video to you. We would be discussing how she stands as an inspiration. First, the goddess of body positivity. Embracing the form we have is one of the most important lessons we can take from Monroe. She was never ashamed to show off her physique while still acting with dignity and class. Monroe encouraged women to break the pattern at a time when the majority of women were housewives or dressed conservatively. She wasn't afraid to show off her distinctive curves. Beauty comes in all shapes and forms. She was the epitome of this belief. The iconic dresses she wore flaunted her body, and even today, they have been preserved in the museum and worn by celebrities. Second, she was available for the needy. Marylin grew up in an abusive foster family. She understood people, especially children, who were struggling and yearned to give them the assistance she did not have. She had grown up in and out of violent foster homes after experiencing neglect from a mother unable to provide the care she required. Marylin routinely gave to WAIF, a group dedicated to helping abandoned children find safe homes, in addition to the Milk Fund for Babies. She performed and collected money while visiting hospitals and army bases. Besides these, she also cared for her stepchildren and in-laws and was always there to help them, even after getting divorced from her husbands. It clearly shows how compassionate she was and how what was right for her, besides all the other factors. Third, she stood against the injustices. She was brought up in a small town in California. Marylin had a deeper awareness of the prejudice and discrimination this population faced. As a result of living with her foster family and seeing life in a neighborhood that was primarily made up of African Americans, her lifetime commitment to promoting equality was probably impacted by this early childhood event. Ella Fitzgerald's career benefited from Marylin's assistance during the civil rights movement. In the same way that Marylin fought against injustices, we should stand up to them and fight for long-sought rights. Fourth, she withheld the humiliation with dignity. Today, the world fights for the identification of the queer community. Even though they have received political recognition, there are still areas where their social acceptance is lacking. In the 1950s, when these were used as expletives and not the talk of the town, Marylin supported the concept of love is love. She was assumed to be a lesbian, although she refused to acknowledge the fact. She also stated that there is nothing wrong with being in a relationship with someone of the same gender. See, she was so progressive in that era too, and she was outspoken. She was not hesitant to say things that were less common but correct. We should stand out and speak up for what we believe is right, rather than just blindly following traditions. Fifth, she was a woman who stood up for women. While we fight for equality and the fact that women should not be confined to the corners and walls of their homes, Marylin was an inspiration to women back then. She is known for the confidence and positivity she gave to the world. She has been described as a feminist idol who never fails to inspire and motivate women in her interviews. She was a free-spirited woman who talked about women's rights, their value, and their equality to men. When she could speak openly about it, even when she hadn't had much support, we could surely move forward in the fight for the necessary changes. Most important, keep smiling, because life is a beautiful thing and there is so much to smile about. Even though Marylin had many challenges and plenty of reasons not to smile, it shows she was always looking for the beautiful things in the world and choosing happiness over sadness. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you for helping our channel grow.